Hello again, everybody. You're welcome to another episode of the N.O.W show. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the journey of winning in widowhood. And I have with me a guest, our partner, or joining me on today's episode is Mrs. Vera Biayeibo, who was recently widowed. And she's going to be talking to us about her journey into widowhood and journey of winning over widowhood. Vera, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
So Vera, tell me about your family.
Okay.
Your husband, how long you were married before he passed on, and...
Okay. We were married for 14 years.
14.
Before he passed on, and I have 3 wonderful kids. The oldest is 14. She just turned 14 in February.
Okay.
And the youngest is 6. So, I mean, I knew him while I was in school, and he was in the Air Force, and I was in the North going to school. And I went to visit a friend in the Air Force base, and that was where we met. And then one thing led to the other, and then we got married. And you know, I never knew it was going to be short-lived because
nobody prays for that.
Yes, because it was actually a wonderful relationship. He was from Delta State, the job part, and I'm from Cross River State. Okay. And so, well, life happened. And
life happened. I like that.
And I saw myself where I am today.
Yes.
And you know, 3 months after it happened, I told myself that you won't let this situation define you.
Wow.
You have to rise up and get going, because after everybody left, I realized that it's just me alone.
you and God.
Yes.
You and God and the children. Because of course, when it's fresh, you know, you get visitors trooping into the house on a daily basis. And before we go into that, what happened with your husband? Was he... You mentioned that he was in the military.
Yes.
So, what happened with him?
Okay. Sometime in 2008, he just took ill. He just started developing some, uneasiness in the office, and he was rushed to the hospital. And then they checked him up, and they said he did a lot of tests, echo tests, and all of that, and they realized that he had cardio something to do with the heart. And so we've been battling that for like 10 years.
Wow. When
he eventually gave up, he actually went to work that morning. We woke up around 2:30. I don't know, something just woke me up by 2:30 a.m. and he turned down like, "Are you awake?" I said that I can't sleep. I was just touching my phone, and he too got up, put on the television, and we just started talking. We talked about everything, his family, my family, because I lost my job in 2016 December, and so that was 2017 December, ending of 2017 and beginning of 2018. And so he was like, "Okay, now what do you want to do?" "Okay, fine." You say you want to do business. Before business, I already spoke to somebody at the airport. So in the morning that was on Sunday morning, Monday morning, take your CV to her and tell her you came from. I'm like, take it to her now. He said, "No, I've already spoken to her. You go there, and then when you get there, call me." We generally spoke about everything. And then one thing that really struck me was that he went to the bathroom, came back, went to the children's room, put on the light, and he took one last look at them. Wow. And switched it off again. I'm like, let this kid sleep. Sets the last one doesn't like sleeping with the lights on. So put it off before he wakes up. It's still very it's still very early in the morning. And he did that, and he came, we talked about everything, and he said, "Okay, fine." Early in the morning, 5:30, he woke me up, let me take a little bit of nap, and then wake me up by 5:30 so I can have my bath, and then make pap for me, because it was too early for him to eat heavy. So I did that, and he wore his overall, and because he was an engineer. Okay. And he went to the office, and he said, "When you guys come back from church, flash me. I'll call to know if food is ready so that I can come."
Yes, to eat.
The call actually came, but
wow.
It wasn't from
not
him.
The call you were expecting.
Yes. Somebody just picked. My son brought it. His daddy that I spell out. Tell him, because I was sweeping because he came back from church. Tell him the food is ready. He should come.
So they were using his phone to call you.
So he kept saying, "Mommy, the person said I should give it to you." The person said that it's not daddy's voice. The person said I should give it to you. I said, "Okay, give me the phone." And I said, "Madam, please come to the hospital. The husband has been rushed down to the hospital. Cold, something very cold. One chill just passed through my body. I'm like, what is this? Hospital. But okay, I just took something wrapped around my head and dashed to the hospital. It wasn't very, it's an first hospital,
Yes.
so we live in the premises,
Yes.
so it wasn't very far. And I got there. When I got there, so I rushed to the emergency room where I felt he would be there. Yeah, but everywhere was empty. A woman just said, ask the injection room. I saw him lying on the floor, and they were, they were trying to resuscitate him, palpating his chest. So I screamed. I said, what's wrong with my husband? Why are you doing this to him? And then they rushed me out, kept me away. After like 2 hours, they came to where I was. This commanding officer came, like, madam, we have to go home. I said, no, I can't leave my husband here. What if the doctors need something? Let me be with him. You guys can go. Then, I don't know if you want to come back later. No, say, madam, they are taking him to Lut. So, you go home. The ambulance will take him. So, when we got home, they sat me down. I'm like, well, we did all we could, but...
The defining moment.
Yes, that was it.
Wow.
And I'm like...
So, you literally were there.
Yes.
The moment he was taking his last breath.
Yes. I was there.
How was that for you?
Up until now, each time, last week my son was ill. I took him into the injection room to be given an injection. I was feeling jittery. No, like, madam, you're not the one taking the injection. Why are you feeling like this? I was feeling...
So it was just a reminder of that day.
Exactly. Because I saw him on that spot. He was there. So each time I go in there, I don't like that experience at all. It reminds me of the whole thing, and I mean, it's not something I would want to wish on anybody at all. Yeah, so that was how I found myself in this journey. And
it's a journey.
yes,
It's a journey.
And like I said earlier, 3 months after that, everything became... I was in denial before. Yes, I was in denial. I was saying, he will walk through that door.
So there are actually many stages.
Yes.
You go, you grieve.
Yes.
Then you are in denial. Then you now come to an acceptance.
Yes. So
it took you 3 months to get to that stage.
3 months to get to that stage. And when I eventually got there, I told myself that, look, it has happened. It has happened.
Yes.
He actually came to the dream and told me the way he went out or the way I saw him. It has happened. It has happened.
Yes.
Let's let it be.
Thank you.
Because like everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be fine. Just make sure you take care of the kids. Because I was crying that you didn't tell me farewell. You didn't tell me goodbye. You didn't tell me anything. You just left for work that morning, and the next thing I heard was that you were rushed to the hospital. We didn't talk about that. We talked about almost everything. We yapped who wanted to yap, gossip who wanted to gossip. We did all that, but it wasn't in our discussion. Why did you have to do that to me at this stage? I just turned 42 August of 2018, and you're leaving me with 3 kids. The load is too much. So that night, while I was sleeping, I was actually sedated. I slept for like a few hours.
You thought the load was too much at that time?
Yes, it was too much. It was really too much. And then he came and said, okay, he said, bye. He just said bye-bye and he walked past. I'm like, okay. So after 3 months, when everybody has gone, my parents have gone back, my sister-in-laws, they've all gone back. That was the acceptance
stage.
level, yes, for me. I woke up one morning, I told myself, you can't be down. You can't keep grieving. You have to stand up. Everything is just between you and your God now. The children's school fees are there, needs are to be met, bills are to be paid. How do you start without a job? So the whole money I had that week was 6,000 naira. I gave out 3,000 naira for my son's lesson, and then I was left with 3,000 naira. But like, how do I survive with this 3,000 naira when no help from nowhere is coming from? How will it be like? So a thought just struck me. We usually go, where I live, we walk a few distance to buy bread. And I looked around and like, we always go out to buy bread. Why don't I start bread business? Why people, they want to have breakfast, and even sometimes in the afternoon or maybe in the night, people like my mom to take tea. Why don't I start something? You know, we are accessible. You can knock me at any time and buy it instead of walking down to the kiosk where in a certain hour they would have been closed. And so I carried this.
So you saw that there was a need within your environment.
Yes. Yes.
And you walked towards meeting that need. And that need catered to your own need.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I went down to where we walked down to buy bread before I started, and I got the animal. So please, can you help me give me the man that supplies bread for you? I want to. She gave me the number, and I called him up. Okay, please, I need you to be supplying bread to me at so block. This is my number. Call me when you come. When do you want it? Tomorrow morning. And that was how I started. I went to the sliced bread section. I got the number. I called them. When do you want it? Tomorrow morning. And that evening, while I made the call, I went around telling people that I'm selling bread now. You don't have to walk down all the way to the children's park. That's what we call it, the children's park, to get bread. And I'll sell bread. You can come up and buy.
So God sent helpers to you, because going to somebody who you were going to be taking business from, and they gave you a number.
Exactly.
I mean, it just had to be God.
Yes, it's God.
It had to be God.
Yes, I saw the hand of God in that, because ordinarily, even my friend was like, "Are you telling me you went to that?" I said, "Yes, I went and I collected the number and she gave me." She didn't even ask. I just told her, "Please, madam, I need the number of Agege bread man and the sliced bread man." She said, "Okay," and she gave me. And I called them up, and here I am today.
Here
Bread business is even though it's not meeting all of our needs, but I'm not begging. And my children, I like. Last term, my son's school bag, got spoiled, and he needed a new one. So I started saving 200 from the bread money on a daily basis, and I got 1.5, and I bought the school bag.
Wow.
And the same thing, my daughter's bag is bad right now. I've started doing that again. So I know that by the time school resumes again, I would have gathered enough money to buy another one for her. And so, I mean, it's been God all the way. I can't do it. It hasn't been on my power at all.
Right.
And God has been very faithful. And I'll tell widows one thing.
Please.
That widowhood, it's so pathetic that in this part of the world, people see it as a curse.
As a stigma.
Yes. And widows go through a lot, but that's not withstanding. Rise up above the situation.
Good.
And do something. Don't throw a pity party around yourself.
No pity
Don't
party.
wallow in self-pity. Rise up. You have these 2 hands. You have these 2 legs. You can do something. You can do anything that is genuine. Anything that is legit to put food on the table.
You should put your trust in God.
Yes. God has to be a big factor, because without him we can't do anything.
We do nothing.
And he has told us he's the husband of the widow.
That's
what
right.
More
I
do
was
we
going
want?
to come to that.
What more do we want? You just, factor yourself into that promise, walk around it, and you see to what heights God will take you to. And another thing is that widowhood in Nigeria has been perceived as something exploitative.
Wow.
When your spouse dies, particularly without a will, which is one thing we should try and work on. We have to change the narrative of widowhood in this country. There has to be an advocacy for people, for widows to be given, to be made comfortable, particularly if a spouse dies without a
interstate.
Will. If it dies interstate. The family comes, takes everything from you, and leaves you with nothing, particularly if you have kids.
But I really don't understand why families do that. And I think it's just African.
Yes.
There's something about our culture that makes the family think they have a right to the man's property, despite the fact that the man has children who needs to be taken care of.
Yes.
It's barbaric.
It's very barbaric. It is. I was just watching a video I saw on Instagram 3 days ago.
Yes.
A widow she just went to buy drinks, and then she slumped and started crying. And people gathered around her. Madam, what's the problem? What's the problem? She was like, she lost her husband 6 months ago. The family took everything from her, and now they've chased her out of the house with her son. That they should just kill her. Because she doesn't have anything to live for anymore. Exactly.
I mean, where do I go?
Where do I go? It doesn't have to be so.
Well done, Vera. So
Thank
the
you.
business is going on well.
Yes, the business is going on
You're
well.
looking good, so
Thank
certainly
you.
looking after you.
Thank you.
Yes, so
Thank you.
I'm sure the joy of the Lord is your strength.
Yes,
always.
always.
When you wake up in the morning, that's the first thing you
I
confess.
surrender myself to Him.
Yes.
And handle the day into His care and let Him pilot.
And He never fails.
He never fails.
Truly, He has been the husband of the widow and the father to the fatherless.
Yes.
That is your story.
That is it. That is my story. That is my story. And I'm hoping that when I leave where we are, because the government quarters and eventually will leave, so I'm sourcing for funds to see how I can, start a small bakery of my own instead of supplying our.
So you're already future looking. Into how you can expand your business. Wow.
Yes, because bread is something people consume on a daily basis.
Yes.
You must eat. And bread is a list of it. 100 naira, you have something in your stomach.
So, something on your table.
Yes.
Something on your table.
So I'm looking in that direction. And God willing, I know I will achieve it. Yes, I will.
I know it's still too early to ask. Are you looking at remarrying?
Well, yes, I am. Yeah, no, it's a good question because that's something we try to neglect, but it's the truth.
Yes,
it's the truth. Yes, but not at the moment.
Of
course. Because I know that eventually I'll need companionship because the children will all grow out and leave me alone.
Yes.
And who would I fall back to in the evenings of my life?
Yes. God, you always have God. You always have God.
Yes, God is up there for us all the time. Yes, but we need this. Somebody to talk to, somebody to share the kids, the children's joy, their worries. So it's really it's sometimes I really feel that, but it's not something that I want to do right now.
Of course, it can be your focus.
Yes, I'm giving it time on. I want to see that the children are well settled, all of them are settled and are doing okay. Then I can think about that. Yes.
Okay. So, you've given advice to the widows out there. Sometimes, widowhood, you find it's not just the woman, it could also be the man who loses his wife and suddenly finds himself alone with his children. What would be your advice to such a man?
Well, we all have our own priority.
Yeah.
Right now, I've said my priority is not to get married. I can care for my kids, and then at a certain stage, if I get married, and it could also be the priority of any widow out there also. You could decide to say, okay, fine, I want to raise this kid, depending on how old they are. If they are still young, I would say they need motherly care and love.
So are you saying that the widower now, the man, should go and find the mother for those children?
Well, just like I said before, men.
I have seen, it's so interesting because I've seen situations where the man decides, you know what, I'm not going to remarry. I want to bring up these children myself and give them the best because I don't want any woman to come and maltreat these children. Okay. I've heard of men who have looked after their children. I mean, now those children are my age mates. So the man has looked after his children for 43 years and has never remarried. I mean, it's you don't find many like that. It's really, but the children have turned out to be so good. Maybe if he remarried, they would have had one wicked stepmother who truncated their destinies, and everything like that. So you are saying that, the motherly figure is very important for children. Yes. So the man should consider remarrying so that there'll be a mother figure, especially if the children are very young. Okay, yes, okay. But of course, he must be prayerful. Yes. So that it's going to be the true mother of those children who will come in.
That will accept them totally.
That will as hers and raise them so that she doesn't truncate their destinies. Exactly. Okay, I understand what you're saying. Thank you so much, Vera.
Thank you.
And we wish you well.
Yes.
We know that God is with you. I mean, He's solidly behind you for you to have bounced back. And you're winning this race, and
keep winning.
You're continuing this journey, a winner and overcomer. I mean that you are now an inspiration to people out there because the first time I met you, you were at a talk where you were encouraging people about widowhood. Your story is really inspiring, and to think that people have somebody that they can talk to. I mean, we hit it off. We talk, we send messages to one another, and I'm sure you'll be the same, for any widow out there who wants your advice. I mean, it's awesome that God is using you, and may He continually use you, Vera. I mean, you have a message, And I'm glad that you have stepped into that destiny that God has for you. Because He always says that, is what says that it will give us beauty for our ashes. And He has given you beauty for your ashes. Because He's turned your story around. And you can look at your children and you can smile and remember your husband lovingly. And may his memories always be beautiful memories for you. Always. And so viewers, I hope that with this few minutes I've spent with Vera, you've been able to pick up tips from her. The message is about winning over adversity. That no matter what you are going through, no matter where you find yourself, with your trust in your Maker, in God who has made you, He will never leave you without comfort. He will never leave you without help. He's always there. No matter the adversity, you will come out of it. Keep winning. Keep overcoming until we come your way again. This is the Now Show. Thank you very much.